Begin stage 2.
They're already starting to panic.
Of course they are. They think that someone's taking their money. All those nickels and dimes they saved had meaning. Useful idiots, as Lenin would say. Prep the video package.
Welcome to Market Makers, everybody. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. Often imitated, never replicated. Be sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this content. Great video for you guys today. We are tracking identical to our Y2K fractal pattern. We are tracking in the current market fractal pattern. We're going to go over all these targets. But guys, remember, February, be prepared for the small scale, the beta test once again of the Operation Fire Sale, because the market's going to sell off 10%. Same 10% we sold off in February 2022. Same 10% we sold off in 2023. The same 10% we sold off back in Y2K in February. Remember, this week is big tech. 5 of the Mag 7 report. Tesla already reported they shit the bed. The stock dumped. Intel from the semiconductors reported stock dumped. PayPal reported stock dumped. We have on deck everybody remaining in the Mag 7 except for NVIDIA, followed by the end of the week, Fed Chair Powell. We had the 89-day Fibonacci pivot, which we talked about in previous videos, top tick the market at 49.08 for now. Let's see what the remainders of the Mag 7 report, because I expect volatility. I expect if they come out with good numbers, you could see a last-ditch effort, a push up here in the end of January going into February. So we're going to look at all these levels on the charts. But guys, remember the cycle. Tomorrow's TA today, because you're going to see these numbers on other people's videos. The difference is you're seeing them on my videos months ahead of time. Same when we called the Bitcoin drop, right? This is the same exact setup that you have going into the market. We have known variables in the market right now. We have the leading economic indicators deteriorating rapidly. Yet another month in a row, 21 months now of the leading, not lagging, leading indicators telling you you are in a recession. The 3-month 10-year yield telling you you are in a recession or going into a recession. 8 for 8 over the last 55 years, 0 false signals. But the market won't care. And that's what you have to understand. Hold these two separate ideas in your head at the same time. S&P 4,400, Bitcoin 29.5, both of them selling off through February. And then the Ponzi media, the Ponzi Wall Street salesman, the Ponzi artist on YouTube will all come out and tell you, now is the time to buy. This is the pullback you have been waiting for. Now you can get a discount on the big tech. All of you that missed out on this rally, now's the time to buy. They'll parade Tom Lee back out there just like they did in January 2022, and he'll say, generational buying opportunity. This is a massive bull market. And guess what, guys? When we hit these numbers, the market's going back up. And this is the problem. The perma bears on YouTube don't understand the cycle. The perma bulls don't understand the cycle. The Y2K fractal pattern is exactly what we've been trading to. And we are going to push back up. I have Bitcoin going from 29.5 in the sell-off all the way back up to 55, 60K by late March. Remember, spring equinox to April 8th, total solar eclipse with this confluence of the solar maximum. And you're looking at the S&P going from 4,400 to 5,200 to 5,250 and this massive push back up, even though all the economic damage has already been done. The herd, the main lemmings in the market, the NPCs, they will all push the market back up. And guys, guess what? When that happens, That's going to be my sell and go to the beach signal for myself, because the market is going to crater and fall and take out its low, because not once in US market history have we ever put in the low before a recession. And when you have the two key recessionary indicators telling you a recession is coming, doesn't matter if it's a rolling recession, a shallow recession, a deep recession, a depression, a post-apocalyptic Mad Max world, it doesn't matter. The market has never put in a low. So we will take out the lows, and everybody, once again, will get stuck and destroyed in the market. Big dumb money, small dumb money, as the market craters. So that's the pathway that we have ahead of us. And that large scale operation they're going to run on you is the fire sale.
It's a fire sale.
Hey, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, it's a myth anyway. It can't be done.
Oh, it's a myth? Really? Please tell me she's only here for show and she's actually not in charge of anything.
What's a fire sale?
It's a three-step systematic attack on the entire national infrastructure. Okay, step 1, take out all the transportation. Step 2, financial base and telecoms. Step 3, get rid of all the utilities, gas, water, electric, nuclear, pretty much anything that's run by computers, which today is almost everything. So that's why they call it a fire sale, because everything must go.
Hang on, do you think you're Bruce Willis? Is that why
Whoa,
you're
whoa.
playing this clip?
You're just jumping in my video? Why couldn't I be Bruce Willis? Why? Why not? Not all heroes
Right.
wear capes.
Is the only thing you have in common is that you're bald? That's the only thing there. If you're okay, I'll play along with this. If you're Bruce Willis, who am I? Who am I in this situation?
Oh, who are you? That's easy. You're the warlock.
Who is this man?
He's my dump truck. I'm not his dad. I'm a cop. How about that?
Oh,
I'm a police
a
officer.
cop. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Why'd you bring a cop into my command center?
Command center. It's a basement.
It's a command center.
Don't help.
All right, guys, while Warlock's having his mom make him a sandwich in his command center, I thought I'd go ahead and make you a TA video. Remember, guys, if you want to trade these markets, check out our two fantastic sponsors, SimpleFX and BingX. SimpleFX, where you can trade all the global markets, Bitcoin, commodities, as well as the DXY and the VIX. Those are new additions. With our link, you get up to it at $5,000 first time, instant deposit bonus. You can trade with immediately, no games. All that information, I'm going to pin it in the YouTube comments. It's also in the video description, and BingX, where you can trade all the cryptos. Again, I'll put it in the same two places. Message Lee on Telegram. I'll pin that with this. Message Lee on Telegram if you have any questions. And guys, both these exchanges will pay for you on your first month to join our room. So take advantage of that deal, because this is a time that's going to be a lot of fun in the markets. Let's go ahead and talk about what we have here. I don't think George Gammon has to put up with any of this bullshit from his warlock, but this is market makers, right? This is how we roll. Guys, the fractal pattern I referenced in the monologue, referenced on the previous videos as well. Current market, right? 20% up moves, 10% corrections all the way through 2010. And then you have 20%, get up to that 49.22, and then 10% correction through February. This will be your 4,400 bottom, rifling you back up with the psychology in the market. Now is the time to buy the dip, right? BTFD. 5234, so 5200, 5250, and then the collapse. That time frame, spring equinox out to April 8th is my window I am looking at. Remember, 3 days after the spring equinox and Y2K, we put in the top. I think history repeats once again. Let's go ahead and look at this on the S&P chart. S&P chart, you can see we're just going sideways with earnings here. This is a big week, guys. Again, 5 of the Mag 7 are reporting. We already had Tesla, who shit the bed. They dumped, and we have NVIDIA out in February. So you have your Amazons, your Metas, your Microsofts, your Apples. They're all reporting this week, and I expect volatility in this range. Maybe a couple of them are good, a couple of them are bad, or a couple of them don't meet expectations. So who knows what we will see? Nobody is supposed to know what their earnings will be, but I want to see some wicks or candles get to our harmonic expansion target 49.22. I'd love to see it get up to 49.50, even better, because it just puts in the ability for this market to have this correction after this parabolic run back up. All of these gains, remember, 80% of the gains this year are from 3 stocks. 80% of the gains. There's going to be a nice, healthy correction. I referenced in my monologue, there can be other higher level targets here as well. We're looking at 4,400. Why? We talked about this because you have the 618 on your Fibonacci. Well, it helps when we have some Fibonacci's on here. Let's go ahead and throw these back on. And now let's look and see what we have here. So we have the 618 right here at 44.15 or 44.11. That's from the current high in the market, right? We go up a little bit higher, that number is going to change slightly. So let's call it 4,400. That's your 618. Now, does it have to come to the 618? No. Remember, on a 30-year study of the S&P, that's the most commonly retraced to fib. I expect it to come to the 618, but this could stop at 382. This could stop at the 0.5, a 50% retracement. And that 0.5, guys, is 4,500. And the 382 is 4,600. 382 is going to be a key pivot because this is where you spent some time going sideways and Wyckoff accumulation before the breakout, right? So you want to watch 4,600. If you crack 4,600, the higher probabilities you're going down to the 618. This will all happen through February, maybe even the first week of March. But this is what I'm expecting to happen. So we're going to watch these levels, and I'll show you how this correlates and confluence with Bitcoin when we get there. Right now, guys, we want to see what the MFI is doing. It's rolling back over to the median line for support. Again, we're going to see some volatility this week, depending on these numbers. Could see some runs up, some pumps and dumps, and then capped off by Powell. Nobody knows what he will say. Remember, nobody knew he was going to pivot. I didn't know. Nobody knew because Powell doesn't tell anybody until you get the speech. When he pivoted, sent the market on its parabolic run, and that's where we are now. And remember, the market has a 50% chance they're pricing in Powell cuts rates come March. Will Powell, throw some red meat to the market and kind of hint at that once again? Or will he backtrack because he sent all the Fed minions out last time he said that, say, oh, actually, we're not even talking about cutting rates and it's way too soon. And so we'll see what happens. But the key word of the day is volatility. I think that's what's going to happen this week. You know your upside targets, you know your downside targets. Just be prepared. Look for 49.22 to 49.50. Want to see this rally get up to that level. Harmonic expansion. We got up to 49.08. We're just slightly below it. So let's see if we can get some wicks up there. Would be absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, guys, again, just been great trading Bitcoin. The TA has been working out really well. It's awesome when you do TA and it works out. And we had the 50% long that we shared October 23rd. We shorted it here in the room. Bitcoin 20+% drop. And I told you the last few videos now, I'm expecting Bitcoin to bounce back up. Why? Because we came down to the shallowest retracement, 39,520. Right here, and now we're bouncing back up. Bitcoin is leading the markets. Why? Because it's a high beta asset. Back when the markets were running up after the pandemic, Bitcoin was moving at basically a 3x beta to the markets, right? So it's a high beta asset. It leads just the same way the Russell did in the traditional market. Small caps, trash, dash for trash. You hear that expression all the time, including high beta tech. Lead the markets up and lead the markets down. This is why the Russell is still suppressed, still down over 20% from its all-time high, while you have the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ all made new all-time highs. This is why Bitcoin hasn't made an all-time high. High beta asset right now. So this is what I'm looking at, guys, for Bitcoin. Bouncing off of 39.50. What I want to see here is Bitcoin come up to 45K to 46,750. That's a 618 retracement up to the 786. And I think it's going to do this when the S&P tops and then Bitcoin starts to make its second top. And then the S&P may start dropping and then Bitcoin may start breaking down. Okay. So we're looking at that move to the 618 or the 786. And because it's parabolic, because it's highly volatile, always be prepared. You could take out the high and tag that 50K number just to really stick it to you, right? Stick it to everybody that bought up here thinking you're going to the 150K target. Now, remember what we just talked about in the monologue. I want to show you this right now. Here's the 5-day chart. Bitcoin. Here's your previous, let's walk through this real quick. Previous all-time high, your most recent all-time high, and where you are now on the chart. I gave you some big numbers what I expect Bitcoin to do. I expect Bitcoin to come down to that level, the 29.5, looking right here on the chart, guys. 29.5 is the 786, okay? So what I expect Bitcoin to do is most likely, it looks like this three-wave type pattern, and then it's going to come down, it'll bounce, whatever, but we're coming down to 29.5, okay? 618 is 33.6, but 618, you're not even at your pivot. 29.5 brings you to 786 retracement, the square root of 618. And this also puts you right back in the heart of your pivot where I think you're going to base and then come back up. So it'll look like this. Let's go ahead and do this on a ghost pattern. You're going to come down to this level. Let me get my upside targets for you too, because I think with the market pushing back up to 5,200, 5,250, I think you're going up to 57.5, 60Ks. Let's do this with the ghost bar pattern. Let's go ahead and draw this in right here. Let's say it comes up here. Don't pay attention to the dates here. Just going to show you this as an example. Market comes down 29.5, puts in its double bottom base here if you're high or low structure, and then you're coming right back up to this 57.555, which is a 786 from the all-time high, up to that 60K level, right? That's where you're coming to, and then you're going to start putting in your topping pattern, and this will come down in confluence with the other markets, but this will give you that euphoria that you want to see in the markets. And I expect Bitcoin in confluence with the markets to come and take out its low. When the S&P takes out its low, remember last time the S&P went to its low at 34.89, Bitcoin went to 15.5. Remember, in the end of 2021, I predicted Bitcoin when it was trading in the 60Ks. I have multiple videos on this. You can go back and watch. I said 10.5. It went to 15.5. This is when everybody said 250K Bitcoin, and that was the cycle. Now you have Tom Lee out there saying 150K this year, right? And you have other people out there, the big perma bulls, saying 250K once again. So this is what I expect to happen because Bitcoin has not decoupled from the market. It just moves at a different beta to the market. So I expect this massive move up. And these moves make sense. They make sense both logically and psychologically in the marketplace because if Bitcoin does come back and tag 33.6 at the higher level at the 618 or 29.5, you're going to have a lot of interest in buying it. We have the ETFs launch now. Now's the perfect time. Remember, you got to put yourself in the Ponzi media, the Ponzi Wall Street salesman. This is the entry point you've been waiting for because the economy's strong. Bitcoin moves at a beta. This is a great time to get in the BlackRock ETF, get into these other ETFs. This is a great time to buy spot, and you're going to see it move back up. 57.5 to 60K puts in that top. Spring equinox out to April 8th, collapse, taking out the low. Bitcoin comes down 11, 13K. Now, if we hit our bubble targets and something breaks in the market, bank failures, credit crisis, whatever, that's the bubble targets and everything will get worse. But right now we're looking at the market as levels, and I expect the market to do what it has done historically every single recessionary cycle. And that's what I expect to happen on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and jump over to the Dow. The Dow, again, leading the S&P. Made a live stream video with my guys. There's some traders in the room as well over the weekend, guys. Again, if you join the Discord, guys, the first month is free. You get our weekly live streams. We have harmonic live streams, block state updates, education, fantastic community. Highly suggest people check it out. I think even if you don't care about the trading, it's a great community to be involved in, and it's free for your first month. And you get all of our custom indicators you see me use on the channel also for free. So 38,097, guys. 1732 is at 38,182. Remember, this is your Livermore pivot that you're trying to build. You want to break out to the upside, take out that fractal. We'll see if that can happen because you know what happens if it doesn't happen? Well, what happens is you end up making a double top and then you re-enter your trading range and you start falling apart. So a lot is riding on this week's earnings. So let's go ahead and flip over to NASDAQ. NASDAQ top ticked here at 17,631. You can see that on the fib, 1.902. Pulling back down. I think this is a NASDAQ putting in a beginning of a three-wave pattern here for a top. Most likely going to see a retest here of some of these earnings numbers. And you'll see something like this, your three-wave pattern up. Do something like this, right? reverse it. So we'll see how this plays out. But watch 17,631, just above it, 17,815. Maybe all of the big tech earnings are great. So you could see this come out, take out that fractal. Have to be adaptable, guys. Have to watch what happens in the market. It doesn't change the cycle. It doesn't change where we are in the economy. So that's the numbers I'm looking at to the upside. Let's look at the stocks 50. I was talking about this in the Discord. Stocks 50 breaking out. I showed people this on the Discord as well. If you overlay, go ahead and overlay the Dow, okay? Overlay the Dow. Exact movements, the same peaks, previous all-time high, the same dip, bottom on the same day. Look at the moves here. Orange is the Dow. The Dow, the DAX, and the Stocks 50 all move together, all led by the U.S. market. Remember, 62%, let's just call it 2/3 of the investable income in the world goes into the US markets. And out of that 2/3, 1/3 goes into 7 stocks. But these smaller groups here, the Dow, the Stocks 50, the DAX, you see them move in confluence sometimes to the candle on bottoms and tops. And what we have happening on the Stocks 50, we got above the 1618, looking at our W pattern here. You just broke out above the fractal right here. So I want to see where this goes. I have 47.34. You're at 46.37 right now. And then I have, let's look at this from this perspective. If we look at this level, 48.01 is the next level I'm interested in. If we can defeat 47.34, I'm interested, and I have multiple fib confluence. I'll show you on future videos if we get closer at that 4,800 level. So I would be looking for the Stocks 50 to make this 5-wave pattern here. It would look just like this. Give us some beautiful ratios, a harmonic expansion, 1618. That's what I'll be looking at 4801. The level right below it, 4734. If we can get up to it, I expect this to give us some nice trading opportunities for our European friends and those of you that wish to trade here in the US. All these assets are on SimpleFX as well. Looking at the 3-day chart, you have some room that you can move back up on the MFI. Your momentum is still flat and low. That could increase. Let's go ahead and bounce over to the DAX. DAX also trying to break out. Remember, all these European markets, I did an in-depth European market video. We also covered the Chinese stocks on our last Discord live stream, guys, but did an in-depth view of this on our live stream, but they all form this beautiful Wyckoff accumulation pattern. They all corresponded to their 1618s, very harmonic, 16.9 on the DAX, and you're trying to break above it. Your next level is 17,263. If the US markets come out good with the mega caps, you could see this move up, and you will see this move up most likely. If they're mixed or if they're bad, you're going to see the European markets respond in kind, and that can give you a simple 3-wave pattern right here. So you have to watch what's happening in the markets right now. These numbers matter, not because you care, because big dumb money cares. That's who cares. It matters what Powell says. Again, not because you care, because big dumb money cares, and big dumb money moves the markets when they buy or sell. You and I, we don't move shit. Big dumb money moves the market. So you need to understand with the market view what's happening. This is 16,957, 16,903. If it stays above, watch 17,263 next level. Looking at the CAC 40, again, exact same setup. Remember, these are just massive Livermore pivots here on a 5-day chart on the CAC. Massive pivot, and you want to take out that fractal and break out to the upside. And if you don't, you're just making a massive 3-wave pattern, double top, where you will fall back down and re-enter this trading range. So right now, CAC 76.42, your key level to defeat, which you did, was 75.75, waiting on what happens with the market. So watch 77.12, 29.17. If big tech earnings are good, you could see this start to move up even more. What are the big techs looking like right now? Let's just look at a couple of them. Microsoft, this could be putting in a top. Again, it's going to depend on the euphoria in the market, what happens with their earnings. So you want to watch this, right? You're starting to get a lot of dojis here. Dojis can be continuations. They can be reversals of trend. We'll see how this plays out. This is a daily time frame. Let's check and see if they're overbought or anything here. Nah, they're not overbought. They could still bounce up. So you could see some euphoria, especially if they have some good numbers. Let's check NVIDIA. NVIDIA is at 615, sold off a little bit, trying to find support. I have 639, my next key level for NVIDIA to get up to. So you're trying to hold above 613, may get to 639. Again, it's all waiting on earnings. Let's check AMD. the mega bubble. Again, the beautiful, beautiful pattern this thing has, this gorgeous W pattern. Talk about it all the time. So this has a 1000 PE, right? To put this in housing perspective, because a lot of people can think better thinking about the value of their house. If your house is $1 million, your house is $1 million, and and you said to your realtor, hey, my house is going up 20% a year. 20% a year. So I want to try to get $1 million for my house. This would be the equivalent of somebody coming to you saying, hey, your house is going up 20% a year. Let's say 50% a year. Your house is going up 50% a year in growth. I'll give you $1 billion for your house. I'm just going to prepay you for all of that growth. I told you happens every day in the markets. It's a giant Ponzi scheme where valuations don't matter. What matters is human emotions, and what matters is what they sell you. Getting in, timing, in and out, trying to get in as close to a bottom as possible, builds you future wealth, and obviously protecting yourself from the downfalls gives you future wealth as well. But if we can get up to this level, guys, 197, I love to see this get to 197. This would be a beautiful pattern. You're at 175. AMD has their earnings this week. Maybe they're good, right? Or maybe there's just so much excitement about it. You go up this last 20 bucks. I'm watching it at 197. It's struggling right now at 181. Price is 180 or 175. So watch that range, 181 to 197. Going to be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and finish this off with gold. Gold holding support at 2012. Again, nothing's happening. These are 3-day candles. They're literally just stacking side by side. Gold might want to see what the Fed Chair Powell says and wants to see what the market does, because eventually, remember, gold will sell off, in my view, with the markets. We'll see how it handles this correction coming in February. If gold's able to stabilize, or it just comes down a little bit, gives you a higher low and tries to bounce back up again. So it'll be interesting one to watch. Guys, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys Thursday. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check us out on Discord, guys. Love to see you in the room. Take care, everybody.